Right, welcome back to another video. Um, we're doing the collection, and I believe it's this. As you can see, the shelf there, which is just behind me. I don't know if we can. No, other way. There we go. That's emptied where my shoulder is, the other shoulder. So we made it. I think the last game we did was Tales of Iron. So we're in the T's at the moment, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think every game that's going to be shown today will be the letter T. So let's get that ball rolling with an entire franchise. So the only one in this franchise that I've personally beat is Tales of Arise. I actually 100%ed it. But we have the newest release, which is Tales of Grace's F, I believe, remastered. Um, this is the latest re-release that they've done, and I haven't had a chance to play it yet. We'll probably jump into it sometime this year, and then, I mean, we'll just lead chronologically, I believe, is what these are. So then we have Tales of Symphonia remastered, and I was actually kind of disappointed with Tales of Grace's F because it's just a standard boxed release with no like extras inside of it. This was an actual like cardboard box. Comes in a steelbook. It has it says free illustrations, so art cards, and then character stickers along with the game. And just it feels a little bit better and more enjoyable to get something that when you revisit and remaster a series, I think going that little bit extra mile to give it like a cool little addition can work wonders. And then we have Tales of Vesperia for the 360 and Tales of Vesperia's re-release. I think definitive edition. Um, so fun story, I guess, with it. I beat. I'll just get this out of the way now. I beat Tales of Arise 100% it. Absolutely loved it. And was like, "Ooh, this is like a JRPG series that I could actually like really get in and really enjoy." And then I went back to Vesperia and I kind of struggled a little bit with enjoying it. It felt a little bit too different. But I think it was just like the fact that I just cleared Tales of Arise and it's very hard for me to do like a back-to-back JRPG. But even me going and I went and booted up Symphonia and I don't know, it just feels very, very archaic. And I don't know the release dates of these games, but I know they're quite old now. They're getting up there. But I just didn't enjoy the flow as much as I hoped. But I've said the same thing about like tank-based controls in like horror games, and it took me many, many years to kind of give them a shot, and I kind of bulldozed that wall down last year with Silent Hill 2. So I won't write the series off. It's a series that interests me for sure. Ooh. The Technomancer, Spiders RPG. It's a follow-up sequel to Mars Warlogs, I believe is what it was called. Um, Definitely on like the lower budget side of RPGs. You're not going to get something that's going to rival like Bethesda's production quality and stuff like that, but they have their own little identity and their own little niche, and I think they do it really well. Um, I'm not sure what they've actually got in the pipeline at the moment at Spiders. I know they did. I think it was Still Rising was their last game that they did. It might have been. So they're definitely branching out, but that's a game that I want to go back on 100%. And it kind of falls into that realm of like Eurojank. So if you are going to check it out, just be aware of that. Temtem, Weird one, this. Very Pokemon-esque, but yeah, it didn't click with me. And I think I just don't enjoy Pokemon. I think is what I've gathered. Because I believe I picked this up shortly after finishing it probably would have been Persona 3. And I was like, oh, I really like the monster collecting aspects of the Persona games. Maybe if I went back and did like a Pokemon game or a Pokemon-like game, I'll end up enjoying it. I just didn't. Just not for me. Right. Trying to keep these in like alphabetical order. So if I flip them up. All right. Terminator Salvation. I was going to say Resistance, but that was the newer game, I believe. Terminator Salvation, obviously the movie tie-in game, notoriously known by many achievement hunters as being one of the early, really easy 1000 Gs for just basically beating it. And I think you have to beat it on the hardest difficulty, but even on the hardest difficulty, it's kind of a cakewalk. It's not one I've finished myself. It's something that's kind of been backlogged. I think I booted it up. Might have been last year or the year before that. I'm just never stuck with it. So one that I need to go back to. Terraria. Kind of surprised this got a boxed release. As if I'm not mistaken, this was a an arcade 360 game, and it actually got like a full-on boxed release. So, kudos to the folks over at Terraria. Um, I played a lot of it on the PC and not really all that much on the consoles. Um, I prefer it to stuff like Minecraft, but I came to the realization very early on that survival games are not really my jam. But what is, we'll do it the other way around. That'll be better. The Test Drive series, Test Drive Unlimited 1 and 2. So, Test Drive Unlimited 1, don't know what year this came out, 2006. So, fairly close to the launch of the 360. I didn't really play all that much of this. I didn't have a 360 at launch. This would have been a game I picked up much, much later. But I want to go back and clear this at some point. Um, and that is for the sole factor that I adore Test Drive Unlimited 2. This game is so damn good. It was so ahead of its time. It laid the groundwork and the bones for like the thought process and design of like what a Forza Horizon game should be in many ways. Like actually mastering an open world racing game and just the racing, like, how would you describe it? The feel of the cars and stuff maybe isn't the best that the genre has to offer. But the fact that you can buy like houses and stuff, and then it had also it had a casino expansion, which was really cool. And you could like, I remember the showcase car was like an Audi. It would have been an R8, I think, and just yeah, this truly special game. Um, right. This is the police, and this is the police too. Never played either of these. These were picked up extremely dirt cheap, but to my knowledge, they're basically, I think they're strategy games by the looks of it. But I enjoyed, what do you call it, like CSI back in the day, and I thought it'd be kind of cool. They were very, as I said, very, very cheap as well. So it was also kind of like no skin off my back picking them up. Something I'll probably jump into at some point. Man, the era of the 360 games when every MCU movie was getting its paired paired game. You would not see this happening anymore. Boy oh boy. I actually tried to play this. I believe it was at the time of the move, I believe, when I was moving house. So when the internet wasn't set up, I was going through 360 games. I didn't end up finishing this. Ended up doing about 3 hours of it and just mentally checking out. I thought it was kind of meh. And I think that's probably why they stopped doing these movie tie-in games because they got the likenesses for the characters, which you had like Tom Hiddleston and Chris Hemsworth playing Thor and Loki. That couldn't have been cheap to get them. I don't think they're things that really move the needle for them. But up next, Thymesia, a more unique spin on like the Souls-like. Um, it's you had to like do damage and then use like a dagger kind of thing to make sure that you did the permanent damage because otherwise it was a weird thing. You'd chunk down the health bar and then you had to do a different type of attack to make sure that that damage was locked in permanently. Um, wasn't really my jam. It was very fast and fluid feeling, and I loved the style of the game. Like Plague Doctors are cool as shit. The environments were cool, but I don't know. It kind of falls into the same vein as like Sekiro and stuff. When it lacks that much like customization for your character, in the sense of like armor sets and weapons and stuff like that, when it's kind of scaled back, it kind of loses me a bit, as I find them aspects so important. Tiny Tina's Wonderland up next. Won actually 100% last year. Really, really enjoyed this. The 100% was kind of miserable, but that's a different kettle of fish. But on its own merit and game, it's a really, really fun time. And I'm not really the biggest Borderlands fan either, so that's probably even more praise than people realize. I'm not the biggest fan of Borderlands humor. So when they took the spin on it for like a D&D setting, I thought that was kind of cool and interesting. And then lastly, from this bit of the pile, Titanfall 2. Respawn really flexing their muscles here. Obviously, they made Titanfall 1. I think that was an Xbox exclusive, but it was fully multiplayer. This has multiplayer elements, but it also tagged on one of the best single player first person shooter campaigns, I think, of all time. Really fun, really cool mechanics with like time travel and stuff. Obviously, the incredible movement that the Titanfall series is known for, along with your mech BT, I think his name was. Really, really fun. Um, Not sure if we're ever going to get a Titanfall 3 with Apex Legends kind of dominating that space, with it being set in the universe, and they're kind of tied down making all them Star Wars games. But hopefully they'll revisit it at some point. Right, let's break this in half. I think these are all. So what we'll do is do these all together as they're all part of the same series. I'll hold them up so you know what it is that I'm talking about. All the Tom Clancy games I own. Boy, oh boy, have they milked that man's name into the ground. And I think I have them chronologically from like release, but it doesn't matter. So first up is the original Splinter Cell for the original Xbox. Um, you can play this via backwards compatibility, and I know a lot of people hold this in high regard. I did try and boot it up fairly recently within the past 2 years. It didn't gel with me. I felt it was a little bit too clunky, and really, really hope that we see because they're meant to be remaking it, I believe. And I would happily welcome that. And then up next, Splinter Cell Double Agent, another one I haven't tried. I was hoping that that would be the case. This is them two are like things I haven't finished. A majority of the rest of them I thankfully have finished, so I have stuff to talk about. But this haven't actually ever booted it up. I don't believe. I was planning on going through the whole series from start to finish, but kind of stuck with the newest games in the Splinter Cell series with Blacklist and Conviction because I really enjoyed them. And then when I went back to the original game, it's kind of put a roadblock on that. We'll do the Ghost Recon trilogy, as it were. So you had the first game, Advanced Warfighter for the 360. Um, really, really fun. Really wish that they went back and made these style of games. If you remember back to some of the previous videos, I talked about the Operation Flashpoint series. This is very similar, but a lot more laid back. So it's a squad-based tactical shooter. Um, it's not easy by any means. It can be fairly difficult in parts, but a lot more manageable than say Operation Flashpoint. And it's just really unfortunate we don't get these anymore because the last one that we got was a Future Soldier, and really, really cool. I'm not sure if this will pick it up. There, the weapon customization was incredible in this game. It would like explode the gun, and then it would let you choose specific parts that you want to put on the gun. Really, really cool. Um, the mission structure was pretty decent as well. It had uh, it had moments where you're like transferring through like a battlefield while escorting a VIP target and stuff like that, and changing formations. It had really cool ideas. But my personal favorite sub-series of Tom Clancy games are the Rainbow Six Vegas games, and it's not so much Rainbow Six Vegas 1, I won't lie. Um, I have finished both of these. This is okay, in my opinion. I enjoyed my time with it, but I think this also holds such a special place in my heart because this was the very first time I encountered other people online and spoke to them while I was playing a game. So back in 2008 was the first time that I booted up Xbox Live, jumped on, I'll say T Hunt just in case the uh, the YouTube gods deem to smite me down for saying bad words, but really, really addictive game. Incredible levels of customization for you, the player, not only with like your guns, the way that you're able to bring them in and stuff and change your loadout, but like what type of armor you have, what type of camo that you're putting on it, and stuff like that. And it was from that time as well where like webcams were kind of the hot shit, as it were. So they, I remember you could upload your like screenshot face and have it on your character and stuff. It's not something I ever did myself, but I remember seeing some people with pretty funny things. Um, right, Hawks and Hawks 2. Never played either of these games. Um, I'm actually fairly noobish when it comes to the like flight sim-esque games like this. Um, I've only finished Ace Combat 7 or 6. Ace Combat 7 or 6. Whatever the newest one is on current gens and stuff that you can play. But I've heard these games are good, but they're not great. So it's why I've not like jumped in and stuff too quickly. But I do love a lot of the Tom Clancy games, even for their shortcomings and stuff. These two, oh boy. Then we have Conviction and Blacklist, the two most unfairly hated on games from Tom Clancy series of all time. I know a lot of people didn't enjoy that they kind of dumbed down a lot of stuff, as it were, and the mark and execute mechanic was kind of a product of its time because you had Hitman Absolution kind of doing that as well. But I think if you don't abuse that mechanic, it's down to you, the player, at the end of the day. They have some really cool map layouts and stuff, and really cool stealth sections, and it just feels good to play and feels good to ghost through um, areas in the game. And then the final Tom Clancy game, I believe, let me check. Yep, is a Rainbow Six Extraction. Very weird one, this. We had Rainbow Six Siege releasing in 2015, I believe. And then they kind of just were content with how popular it ended up snowballing. They never gave us another Rainbow Six game. And then it must have been 20, it might have been 2019 or 2020. They then deployed a limited time event, which was to promote this game. And it was a lot of fun, the event. And people were kind of hyped for it. And then it got delayed. It would have been earlier than 2019 because I remember they had to change the name because of COVID. So yeah. Anyway, it ended up dropping finally after a few delays, and it kind of like people had waited so long for it that the hype had died down big time. And also the end product, I think for a lot of people, wasn't what they were expecting. I think they were hoping for a little bit more meat on the bones. And unfortunately, I know they've cut support for it for like content wise. I don't know if you can even play the multiplayer anymore. You might be able to, but it wouldn't surprise me if they cut that, to be honest. And then we have the Tomb Raider stack. So beginning with the roots, Tomb Raider 1 to 3 remastered from Aspyr. Booted this up when it released, because I purchased it digitally day one. Um, Man, the controls are something to tolerate is the nicest way of me uh touching upon that. I was gonna say I thought like there was another Tomb Raider game, and there is, and it's because I have it out, so bear with me. Oh, why is it at the bottom? So we have the this was technically the first of the two reboots that the series got. So you had Tomb Raider, no, this one. Tomb Raider Anniversary was the first one in that. And then was it Legend or Underworld that came out after that? Oh, I think Anniversary came out after that. I think this was first. Huh. I think that came out first, according to the box prints. That was next, and then Underworld. I thought Anniversary was the. No idea. But I haven't had a chance to jump into these yet. Um, so have literally nothing to say on any of them. But it will be a grouping of games that I will try to finish this year. And then we have I haven't I've beaten the this would have been 2013, right? 2013 reboot on the 360, And then what a lot of people don't actually know is that Rise of the Tomb Raider actually did get a 360 port. Um, I think it's much like Dragon Age Inquisition. I think they didn't receive all of the DLC content that the Xbox One versions ended up getting, but both like these are both incredible, and it hurts that Square Enix set their expectations so high with everything that they touch because they were just both incredible games in my opinion at least. And I think that it's really unfortunate that they kind of just were like, we don't really want to kick you guys any money anymore. They're kind of failures. They didn't ship enough. That's kind of sad. And then what a game to end it on. Two Human, Silicon Knights. I think. Oh, it'll be in the next video, but I'm fairly certain they made this and the X-Men Destiny game, I believe, and they got in like big, big, big trouble with it might have been Epic Games, I believe, for some licensing issues with the engine that they were using. And yeah, this is notoriously known for being an extremely bad game. But much like Ride Retribution and this Two Human, I am yet to boot them up. So yeah, don't really know if it's as bad as people say. Because sometimes when you go back with a mindset of like modern gaming and stuff, and you revisit these old games, you can kind of look at it in the lens of, okay, like, yeah, they're not great, but they're not as like doom and gloom as people were projecting that they were at the time. And, that can either go one of two ways. You can either say that, standards have truly dropped, or we were a little bit too harsh back in the day. So, yeah. But that is the tease. I don't know if there's any more teas back there in the next set, but this should be the second to last collection video. And then we can start moving on to other stuff. We already recorded something called a profile review. So if you're familiar with that, you'll know what that is, but I won't spoil it because it'll be interesting to see how people react to that kind of stuff. But that's all ready to go. But what I want to do is push out this collection series first and then do the profile updates. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. And what I've just looked down into the bottom left and realize is that that's not my name. So I'll have to change that for the follow-up recording, which I'm going to do straight after this. But anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Make sure to check out Brandon's channel, Unnecessary Rambling. It'll be tagged into the description and probably pinned in the comment. I'm over there pretty frequently, and we do tons of good content. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next one.